So yeah, that's just another thing to keep in mind is at what level the content rate applies to, because that will impact what you put for the quantity. So yeah, for lead, it's for homogeneous material level, and for reach SVHC, it's the article level. So yeah, you would basically just like do that calculation for Rojas. You would just find all of the parts where that have lead in it, that have like an exemption or that are above the threshold. And you would just multiply it by the masses of all of those parts and add them all together. And same with lead, you would do the same thing, except you would do it at the article level. So just making sure that you're aware of which level, I guess, the content rate applies to. And yeah, in this case, I'm not really going to bother doing the math because I'm busy. So I'm just going to put, I don't know, let's say like 0.5 grams for each. Yeah. So that's pretty straightforward. And then once again, similar to on the composition page, for reach, you would have to put an exemption. So same thing, I think for reach for Rojas I put 6A1. So yeah, I would do the same thing. I select 6A1. And yeah, that's about it. I think we should be good to finalize it. We can do an error check with the error warning, which means we can. Great, so now your composition and your compliance portion, they're both done, they're both finalized. That's like the hard part. We've already done this like general information, so valid from, so here you would put like today's date, today's September 3rd. Yeah, and here you would put the issuer authorizer, so this is where you put the information for your company or whichever company it is that is preparing the chemSHERPA report. So to fill this out, you would actually go to company and you go to issuer authorizer, and here you can see all of the required information. Sorry, one second. Yeah, so here for company, I'm just going to put company, division name, division title, example at gmail.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this is my pretend issuer. And then authorizer, so the issuer and the authorizer can be the same person or it can be different people. The issuer is basically gonna be who, like the issuer's name is what you're gonna see here. So typically you would want the issuer name to be the name of the company that is manufacturing the product. And then in cases where the authorizer might be different from the issuer, could be if you hired like a third-party company to create the chemSHERPA reports for you. For example, like Enviropass creates chemSHERPA reports. So if we were to create this report for you, your company's information would be here and our company's information would be here. So I'm just gonna put Enviropass. I'm also just gonna put the same word, example at Gmail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and then you can also import template, register template. So if you want, you can essentially click register and it'll like save it. And then next time when you do like other chemSHERPA reports, it'll actually automatically fill it in. I can actually show you right now. So since I registered it before, and if I click import, it'll put the information here. So that can be really good for just like saving time. And yeah, and then here you put the reference number, which can be, I mean, whatever number you associate with this project. And you would do the same thing of, you'd put the preparation date and the authorization date. And yeah, so this is the requester information. So essentially this is like the information of the company that, if they're like, for example, if you have like a client and you are making this product specifically for them, if you want, you can also put their information here, but it's not necessary. And yeah, I mean, like, if they don't specifically ask for this, you don't really need to put it. That's something that you maybe can like double check with your client or whoever's importing your products, if they want you to fill this out. But yeah, it's not always necessary. But if you did fill this out, it would just be a very similar thing of, you would put the same information as you did here. So it would ask for like all of this. And yeah, you can also add extra information if you want to, but it's not necessary. And yeah, that's about it. So now we can do an error check and we can see if there's anything that we need to change before finalizing. It says there's no error warning released. So that means that our report is good to go, and we can click output authorization. Oh yeah, another thing that I just want to point out is, so when you export your data, or when you like save it to your computer, you can essentially click, so you need to click each row. Like, let's say you have like multiple products. If you save all three, or if you like click all three, then it's essentially gonna output all of them like together. So it's gonna make one file, and when you open it, it's gonna show you like these 3 products. And if you want to like have only one, like if you want to have one file per part or per product, you'll have to check them each individually. So just make sure when you're doing your output that the right row and the right part is selected, and like the right number of parts is selected as well. Because yeah, if you wanted to have one report, one file that had like, you know, like 7 reports on it, like that's great, you would have to click all 7. But if you wanted to have them individually, you'd have to save them each individually. So in this case, we just have the first one. We would click output authorization. There remain products components that are not selected. I should export the data. Yes, because I don't want to save any of these.